All I ask is, if we have to give these bastards our lives, we give them hell before we do!
The tragedy of our day is the climate of fear in which we live.
Talking about the Salomon Brothers building collapsing.
I would ask the congressman to withdraw that comment and tell us that he really mean that. I don't know what I said. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
The Bible commands that certain people be put to death.
Thieves were possessing weapons of mass destruction. 9/11 attacks were carried out by Al-Qaeda.
Handle the truth.
I remember that with that smoke. We are still here.
We have to say yes to social justice.
It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
Hey, what is up, Downers? What is up? It's been far too long since we've done this, and better late than never, obviously. This episode was supposed to be recorded 2 days ago and released this morning, and that obviously did not happen for reasons that we will get into. We will get into them, but if you're new here, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming. This is the AntiNews. This is the place where we talk. We sit back, we watch the world burn, and we poke fun at it while it happens. We have a good chuckle at the apocalypse, covering things in the news, and doing so in the least professional way possible. Basically, we pull up news articles and we make jokes about them. Welcome. Typically, Craig is here, and Craig was supposed to be here. We were supposed to record this on Saturday. It was not going to be a live stream. It was just going to be pre-recorded and released today. Craig is not here because he has a real job. I am here because I will make sure that you get your content, whether I am able to record it or not. So for those that don't know, I do video. I've done the videos for Vermin Supreme's campaign. Now it seems like I might be doing video for Jo Jorgensen's campaign. I'm not sure exactly how deep into that I can get into here on the main, but I might chat a little bit deeper on all the specifics behind what exactly went down this week over in the Downers Club. If you're not a member of the Downers Club, hey, they're our main sponsor. The main sponsor of this show is the Downers Club. It's you guys. It's you fine folks who like what you hear and you want to hear more. So you give me your dollars. It's fairly inexpensive to get bonus content of this show, audio and video every single week, including the after party that I will be having today in the Downers Club group. Live is the plan, as long as this goes well. I'll be talking about some of the more extreme and ridiculous and fun news stories, along with getting a little bit deeper into what happened this week with the Jo Jorgensen campaign in regards to my not hiring, my not firing, but my experience in trying to make videos for them. So all good things, and I'll give you guys the update over there. But if you are not a member of the Downers Club, if you are not a sponsor, if you are not a member of our sponsor family, that's really what it's about. It's about family. Go join the Downers Club at patreon.com/thesystemIsdown. You can sign up for as little as $5 a month and get bonus stuff every single week. So there's that. Another one of our sponsors is Brave Botanicals. Brave Botanicals sells all of the best natural products that the government hates, like kratom, colloidal silver, CBD, vitamins, minerals, hand sanitizer, stuff like that. All natural products, things that the government tries to put their patents on or take out of our hands. I am currently actually drinking this delicious white Borneo kratom from Brave Botanicals, which you can get as well. I find that it helps me focus, especially here working at home in this mess. You can't even see the rest of this room, but it is a complete disaster. The only way that I'm able to focus on what I'm doing and it helps me energize. It gives me a nice clean energy, but that is all because of White Borneo Kratom at Brave Botanicals. And you listeners to the show get 5% off their entire order by going to freeounceofkratom.com. So you can get the free ounce of Kratom with that promo code as well. And you can also get 5% off your order, whatever your order is, by using the promo code TSID at freeounceofkratom.com. Check it out. Check it out. It's good stuff. Yeah, we had another sponsor. Who else was I going to talk about? I don't know. I don't remember. But I'm going to play for you, before we get into this, I'm going to play for you guys the Jorgensen ad that I worked on and give you a little bit of backstory on what happened there. But this is the ad that I recently put together. You could say that that the Jorgensen and Spike Cohen ticket is a sponsor of the show, because it seems like I'm going to be getting some good work from them. And I already have gotten some good work from them, because when all of this craziness was going on, about 10 to 15 clients hit me up and said, hey, if they won't work with you, we will. So with all of credit goes out to the Jorgensen campaign for getting some more eyes on my business and people wanting my work. So they are another sponsor, and because of that, I will play their ad right about now once I share this screen. And that'll be it for ads. We'll move on to some actual news and what you're here for after that. Let's see. Not that one. Not that one. There we go. There we go. All right. Here goes. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. There's that. That is the new Jorgensen Cohen ad. It's an unofficial ad, but it might be less unofficial in the future, hopefully. So that's that. I'm hopefully going to be making more stuff for them on that line of work, that type of thing. Yeah, I'm not going to get into it any further. Just go check out Jo Jorgensen on all the things. Check out Spike Cohen, especially my man, my VP. Their ticket is awesome, and I support them wholeheartedly. So go check it out at joj2020.com. Cool. That's enough of that for now. Again, if you want to hear me rant more, I'm going to do it behind the paywall in Patreon. It's not going to be anything too crazy, edgy, or anything, but I just don't want to put anything out here in the main any more than I have to, because most of you probably don't care, but there are some of you who saw that there was some sort of story and some sort of weirdness going around and want to know more. If you want to know more, you can find out there. Otherwise, we're going to get into some news, some actual news that people are here for with the AntiNews, the least trusted name in news, if you will. Let's see what we've got on the ticket. It's been so long. I'm pretty sure it's been over a month now since we did one of these. And do you remember, did we talk about Chaz at all? Was Chaz a thing the last time we did an AntiNews? I don't think it was. So that's how long the month of June has been. It seems like Chaz has been a thing for years, and it wasn't even a thing the last time we did an AntiNews. Also, I can't stay focused on my own, even with the Kratom. doesn't help my ADD as much as I'd like it to. So it's going to be a scattershot ramble without Craig here to bounce ideas off of, without somebody to force me to hear myself back to myself. This will go wherever it goes. But if you like the randomness, if you like the all over the placeness, if you're an ADHD fellow like me, and enjoy that type of thing, maybe I'll do more of these, because as my schedule becomes increasingly busy, it's going to be harder and harder to sit down and do actual interviews and stuff with Craig and that type of thing. But I will always be here for you. So let's get into some news articles. And if you're new to this and how this works, anything I say here is my jokes and nobody else's. They do not represent anybody. They're my jokes. If you don't like jokes, if you're offended by jokes, then fuck off. I mean, there's nothing else to say here. Let's see. First on the ticket, we're going to talk about Chaz. This comes from sacbee.com, SACBEE.com, so it's legit. Exhausted by customers' rage over wearing masks, California taco. Nope, that wasn't the one I meant to click on. We were supposed to talk about Chaz first. Actually, that was pulled up in the wrong thing. That was for the after party. So if you want to hear about tacos, taco chains, and controversies with taco chains, you're going to want to go to the after party after this is over. Okay, this comes from NewYorkDailyNews.com. That's not the one I wanted either. Where's freaking Chaz? This comes from newsfeed.com, NUS feed. I don't know what that stands for, but I'm guessing it's just news and they don't know how to spell. Also, as we're going through this, I will try to answer questions and stuff for you guys, but I am terrible at actually focusing and paying attention to that at the same time. But I will pull it up here in case anybody has questions. So the newsfeed.com, Seattle businesses, residents sue city for tolerating Chaz protest area. So if you don't know, Chaz is the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. I've heard a lot of libertarians. It seems like libertarians are split on Chaz and how we're supposed to feel about Chaz, right? I've got some people in my feed are saying that it's a good idea. It's a good thing. They're supporting it. I am open to having my mind changed, but I don't understand that point of view, that this is like a wholesome thing that's going on right now. As libertarians, we're supposed to be against, ideally against destroying other people's property, destroying other people's their lives for some, because there's been deaths, which we'll get into. I don't understand the idea that libertarians are supporting, and not all of them. I would say the vast majority of them do not support, but I am curious as to how a libertarian can support the stealing of property and the vandalism and destruction of property that is not yours. Unless it's in self-defense. And this, you could make the argument probably that it started in self-defense because it was a protest against police brutality and such. However, I'd say we're past that point. I would say that the burning down of the police station to make a point, that makes sense. That makes a point. But stealing a couple blocks for a deadly block party and destroying it doesn't seem like that great of a way to protest to me. It seems like criminal activity, even for a libertarian. Am I wrong? No, I'm not. Convince me I'm wrong. Let me know. But until then, I'm not into it. So there's this autonomous zone. Libertarians are split on. It's basically they're trying to build a society and a civilization in the middle of Seattle, and they're acting like they're seceding from the union while they jump in and out of the zone and pick up supplies from good old capitalism and the evil man of capitalism. They're growing their own gardens. They're racially segregated gardens. So they went in there with the intent of starting this place to get away from the evils of society, like cops and border walls, racism, division, and they immediately put in these really bad looking gardens, and then they had signs that say that they have, you know, specific spots for minorities and their what was it, their plant relatives, allies was the word, their plant allies. Now if you grow something and then you consume it and eat it and kill it, does that make you an ally? I don't know, but they immediately implemented a dictator, basically this guy Razmataz Simone. Which we found out since then that this is a very wealthy man who's made a lot of money off capitalism. Surprise, surprise. He's a SoundCloud rapper, I guess, and he's put out some music. He rolled in with a Tesla. The dude's got some money. He's probably a millionaire. I don't have the stats, but I would be willing to bet he's a millionaire. He also has an Airbnb property that he rents out to people, which means that he is essentially, to a degree, a landlord, and he is making money off capitalism there and capitalism off the Airbnb and all that stuff. So I'm confused as to the goal. Is the goal to start a new society? And if so, then get out of the one you're in. Stop depending on and relying on the one you're in. I doubt that when the Pilgrims came to America, they went back and forth to Britain all like daily to get supplies to help them start I'm not a fan of colonization. I'm not a fan of how this country became a thing. But that's what they did. These people colonized a new area, quote unquote, hard quotes. And then they're still accepting. Not to mention, they are angry when there have been stories that came out. They were angry when ambulances would not enter the Chaz in order to help them when they inevitably shoot themselves. They were angry about that. But it's like you're accepting the evil American social services of ambulances into your place. You're mad that they're not coming in to help you, as you say that you're not a part of America, as you say that cops can't come in to defend people, defend property, defend lives. You won't let the cops in. Of course the ambulance isn't going to come in, because if somebody gets shot, what are they supposed to do? They're not there for. They're entering a war zone at that point. If people are shooting each other and they're expected to come in and the cops aren't able to come in and break it up, nobody is on the side of the ambulances. So why should the ambulances give a crap? So there's that part. Yeah, and they're selling they're selling things like Red Bull and Gatorade and different items. They're venturing out into the world to bring back their bounty, their hunt from their hunt of these corporate evil capitalist products and merchandise, and then they're selling them, redistributing them, if you will, for currency. They also have armed guards and people who stop others from doing certain things. They're not cops, though, because cops are bad. So we've got a leader, we've got cops, we've got even segregation. So the things that we've got segregation. Oh, and we've got a wall, we've got a fence to keep people out. We're splitting up the minorities from the whites for justice, in the idea that George Floyd should not have been killed, in the idea that that was a racist act. To end racism, we are implementing segregation in our new utopia. Somebody explain to me how segregation stops racism. And if it's not about racism, then stop hiding behind the idea that this is a protest against racism. I'm all for ending racism, 100%. How do we do that? I don't think the way we do that is stealing property, allowing some people in but not others, and then segregating those people amongst each other. That seems like the opposite way, the opposite from the way that we could ever end racism. So that's that. What else we got going on in Chaz? Shootings in Chaz. In a week, I believe we are up to 5 shootings in the peaceful protest that is Chaz. Speaking of peaceful protest, quote unquote, hard quote, Chaz changed its name, I think, officially to CHOP. So instead of Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, it's Capitol Hill occupational protest or something like that, I believe. I don't know for sure the reason why, but I'm guessing it's a legal issue. I'm guessing it's because if you're claiming to be a Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, when this whole LARP fest blows over, you don't want to have legal ramifications. Change it to a protest. Protests are fine, right? So they're playing, in order to stay out of trouble, these new colonizers who are setting up their new community and their new nation. They are playing by the rules of the old nation. So if we're again comparing this, we're going back and asking Britain for permission on our name choice to call this United States of America. And then we're changing it if they don't like it. Apparently Chaz was over. I had a news story pulled up somewhere. Chaz was over. Let me see here. Yeah. On June 25th, this is the one that I started out talking about. But this all kind of goes together. This is all Chazmataz, Chaz hands and Chazercise. Seattle businesses, residents sue city for tolerating Chaz protest area. Numerous businesses and residents in Seattle, Washington, are suing the city for tolerating the chop zone, claiming officials were complicit in depriving them of the right to their own property. Of course they were. The plaintiffs, including a tattoo parlor, auto repair shop, emphasized in the lawsuit filed Wednesday that they were not trying to undermine the anti-police brutality or Black Lives Matter messaging of the Capitol Hill Occupy protest, King 5 reported. The lawsuit filed in, do not text me while I'm living, but cool. All right, the lawsuit filed in the U.S. District Court read, quote, "The lawsuit is about the constitutional and other legal rights of plaintiffs, businesses, employees, and residents in and around CHOP. Which have been overrun by the city." Okay, we get the point. They're suing, obviously, because the people are stealing their stuff. They're taking over their property, and they're making it an uninhabitable place for normal people to live who do not want to be a part of their protest. That's not okay. You can protest all day long. This is not that. This is something else entirely. And I don't want to get all right-wingy on you, but it feels like all of this is just to overthrow the country to some degree to make sure that we stay in the civil unrest. And not to get too conspiracy theory, but that's part of what this show is. But I would say that this whole thing, all of this stuff, everything that's happened is by design to some degree. It's getting too creepy to me. It feels more than ever like something else is behind the stuff that's going on, because we can't have a civil conversation anymore. If we disagree on something, we can't. It more than ever. If you even utter the wrong words, you are the enemy, you are evil. If you say the wrong phrase, if you say something like all lives matter, sure, there might be bad connotations behind that. You might be a racist, but it doesn't mean that you are a racist for saying that. Even if you're just saying it because you're stupid, and you don't think, okay. There's so many ways to look at the problem is there's nuance in life. There's nuance in humanity. There's nuance in all the conversations that we've ever had, but we are not speaking in nuance anymore. If you are against the organization that is Black Lives Matter because of some things that they have done, then you are a racist. If you say all lives matter, then you are a racist. It's dumb to say all lives matter when you're saying it against somebody who's saying Black Lives Matter out of the goodness of wanting to give Black people equal rights. But if you're saying all lives matter to just try and shut down somebody else's protest, then that's shitty. It's whatever. I'm not going to get too deep into that. Y'all know my stance. Black lives do indeed matter, and any organization that carries out any act or is involved in any unjust act, then that organization needs to be held accountable for it. That does not make the phrase Black Lives Matter any less true or any less worth using. Okay. Anyway, where was I? Holy crap. Yeah, they're suing because people are stealing their stuff. It's really as simple as that. Somebody came onto their property, broke their shit. So businesses are mad about it. People are mad about it. Locals are mad about it. Fine. You can use the argument that nobody is entitled to this land because the natives were here before us, but that doesn't make you entitled to that land either. Like, there's a conversation to be had there. There's a conversation to be had around reparations and stuff like that, but it's not for you to decide. Anything that happens, it just makes you the new colonizers. It makes you the new people coming in and stealing things that aren't yours. Are they going to give Chaz? Are they going to hand it over to the Native Americans? Are they going to hand it over to ancestors of slaves? How does Chaz work, and how does it accomplish what you say it's accomplishing? Yeah, in my last rant, I said that I think that some of this is orchestrated. It's okay. I'll say that it's not orchestrated, but I will say this: if this was in a movie, if this premise was in a movie, the script would not be picked up. It would not be purchased for creation because it's unbelievably convenient. Everything is. When you have a pandemic occur and everybody is forced to stay in their homes, okay, the powers that be said, hey, you guys aren't allowed to leave your homes because of a pandemic that we still today are getting things wrong about, still don't know enough about to make informed decisions clearly, because we still don't know if masks work or do not work. We still do not know if social distancing does anything. We still don't know if it can be passed from person to person by touch, and we still don't know what it is or how to stop it. So where was I going? I got lost in that. Yes, if it was orchestrated, if you're writing this into a script and you said that the government told everyone, stay in your home, and if you go out of your home, we'll arrest you, which has happened, and then you left them in their home until their businesses started to fail and people started to commit suicide and people started to get restless. People were more cutthroat than ever online and in real life. People were angry to the point of snapping. And then you opened up the floodgates and said, hey, it's time to come back out now, guys. And at the same time, you poked a really, really big nerve by having a white cop kill another black man. Then, boom, the world explodes. You bring in pallets of bricks, leave them wherever might be convenient. It seems like you bring in probably cops in gas masks to smash out windows and disrupt peaceful protests that were intended to be peaceful. You allow Chaz to occur. You don't stop it. It's just it's almost too conveniently laid out, in my opinion. We were locked up to the point of breaking, and then we were taught wear masks, and then we were told take those masks, get out there and start breaking stuff. It just feels like intentional division to me. Divide and conquer has always been a military strategy. It is as old as the earth is flat. And if you look at it through that perspective, it's like, are we going to be better by creating more division as a people against a system, as a people against injustice in the police force, as a people against racism? What do you think is going to be better for the people if we go around smashing things up, creating more division amongst races, or if we band together as a human race and, actually start making change? And I don't know how that works. I don't have the answer, but I don't think that starting a little racist commune is the way that we get the change that we're shooting for. Have I thoroughly exhausted this? Am I even making sense anymore? I don't know. And oh, hey, we've got people in the comments. This is how bad I am at actually reading comments. See all. Also, Facebook is the glitchiest, crappiest website ever in the creation of mankind, and we all use it every single day. There isn't a single other website that is more glitchy than Facebook. Changed my mind. So these comments are agree, and we're Marty Milligan said, were you using 2 monitors? The video didn't show. Damn it. All right. Well, screwed that one up. Go check out the Jo Jorgensen video. It's up on this page, and it's up on my YouTube, and it's up on the Goulash Films YouTube and all that stuff. Check it out. Hopefully the intro video played. I don't know. I don't even know what we have anymore. All right. Is anybody still listening? No. Okay, cool. So back to Chaz. Yeah, there were riot arrests. There's been shootings. There's been 5 shootings in the last week for Chaz. And the most recent one we will talk about now. We'll talk about this from thegatewaypundit.com, so you know it's legit. Breaking 5th shooting in Chaz Chop Autonomous Zone in Seattle. There was another shooting in the Chaz/Chop. Can we just pick one? Can we pick one? Because I'm not saying Chaz Chop every time. Autonomous Zone of Seattle around 3 a.m. on Monday morning. This is the 5th one since rioters took over the area. A live streamer at the scene said that they believe there are at least 2 people shot, 1 to the head. At least one of the victims was being transported to the hospital in a private vehicle by the time police arrived. Quote, we just heard shot after shot after shot. A live streamer on the scene said there are at least 2 victims. There may be a 3rd that was shot about an hour ago. I can't confirm that. He added that it seemed like a car had pulled up and began firing from the vehicle. So we've got drive-by shootings. Where were the Chaz police for this drive-by shooting? Where is the justice? And another shooting. I'm just reading through some of these tweets and stuff. Vehicle circling, Chaz shooting. Yep, that's what we're dealing with. How long before they actually shut it down? Because, like I said, they were talking about shutting it down a week ago, and it seemed like they were. Seemed like the mayor finally came out and said enough. But we're still here. How many shootings must there be? How much more criminal injustice? Like when somebody gets shot on a normal occurrence, when there's a shooting and people are outraged, they say, take away the guns. Where's the call for gun control in the Chaz? And somebody call Raz and tell him we need more gun control because that'll work, right? Obviously, I'm being facetious, but who's calling Raz? And as all of these, I would imagine a lot of ultra lefties. I'm making assumptions here, but I'd say it's safe to assume there are a lot of people that are the socialist type on the left sphere who are occupying this zone. Where is their call for the end of the militarization of the chaps, the chops, the chop chaps? Um, where's that? And where's them calling for Raz to redistribute his wealth amongst the people? Where? Okay. And if you hear children yelling in the background, that's just life, my friend. That's just dad life. Hashtag dad life. All right. Let's see. What else do we got? Are we good on Chaz? We could read Raz Simone's Wikipedia. I've got that pulled up. So this is the guy. This is the leader, the warlord, if you will, of Chaz. Solomon Samuel Simone. That's a name. Known by his stage name Raz Simone. It's got a better ring to it. Should have went with SSS. Solomon Samuel Simone. And formerly Raspy, is an American recording artist, songwriter, and political activist and organizer from Seattle, Washington. A hip-hop artist, he built his brand by releasing EPs, touring, and filming music videos through his company, Black Umbrella. He gained recognition after releasing his debut solo EP, Solomon Samuel Simone. Now, I could be wrong, but I think this was written by Raz. I would be willing to bet this was written by Raz because of the way that was worded. He gained recognition after releasing his debut solo EP. Bullshit. Nobody in the existence of the world has ever put out a solo debut EP and gained recognition. Yeah. Obviously, I'm joking. Whatever. In June 2020, during the George Floyd protests, Simone emerged as an active member of the self-declared Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. CNN described him as the de facto leader of the Autonomous Zone, because that's the thing. Conservative news outlets and publications, including Fox News, Town Hall, and City Journal, featured Simone prominently in their coverage of the zone, characterizing him as a warlord policing the area with an AK-47 and highlighting an interaction where he allegedly assaulted a tagger. Why did they say it like that? They're calling out Fox News and Town Hall and City Journal for saying that he's a warlord for policing the area with an AK-47. What do you want to call it? What do you want to call it? And did you guys see there's the video floating around of Raz rolling up in his Tesla and handing out guns to people without checking United States identification or anything of that sort, just handing out guns. In the video, he says, anybody know how to use a gun? And a child in a hoodie raises his hand sheepishly and says, yeah, I totally know how to use a gun. He walks over. Raz just hands him what appears to be some sort of AK-47 or some sort of gun. Yeah, and he grabs it by the magazine. He's holding that as though it's a handle. Any idea how people are dying in Chaz? Because you're handing out guns to people who have played Call of Duty twice in their life. All right. Anything else on Chaz? Let's see. Oh, yeah, there was the Loud Earth Crowder thing where and this is where I found out about, him having an Airbnb. Raz's Razamachaz's Airbnb. So Steven Crowder and his guys, apparently they found his Airbnb. They went and kind of occupied. They rented the place. and they invited a bunch of people from Chaz to go out and have a party at the Airbnb suite of Raz. So just some fun little funny ridiculousness. And yeah. When I first heard about it, I thought it was a joke. I didn't think that they were actually doing that because I don't have the balls to go rent Airbnb from Raz and try and host a party in his house. Nope, because this man who has organized a very peaceful protest has a way of, inflicting harm on people. It sounds like, but I could be wrong. All right, that's it. That's it for Chaz. I'm getting out of here. Closing all these Chaz tabs. Hashtag Chaz tabs. That's fun to say. So yeah, there was a fifth shooting. Did I cover all that? Fifth shooting. Okay. Yeah. So 5 shootings in a week in Chaz. At this point, it's not the most successful first country I've ever seen started. Their imports and trading is very much working in the favor of the person that they're trading with, which is the United States. Their ecosystem, their farming, their farmland is not doing too great. But I'd say probably the biggest downfall of all in this new country that is opposed to racism, I would say it's the flagrant racism. But what do I know? Also, my allergies are terrible. So if I'm crying, it's not because of the atrocities that are Chaz. It's because of allergies. So, moving right along. And by right along, I mean we've been doing this for way too long. How long has it been? Like 45 minutes, something like that. Okay. We'll get through a couple more stories, and then I'll bounce over to the after party talk. So there's a bunch of new #MeToo allegations against some dudes in celebrityism, and it's I don't know that much about them. I heard some names, and that's pretty much all I know. I heard Chris D'Elia and Justin Bieber mentioned, and I have stories here, I believe, for each of them. Here we go. First one, Justin Bieber, allegations against him. This comes from NewYorkDailyNews.com, so you know it's legit. Justin Bieber denies sexual assault allegations, threatens legal action. This story is factually impossible, says Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber fervently pushed back against claims that he sexually assaulted a woman in 2014, providing receipts and photos as his defense. Over the weekend, an anonymous Twitter account identified only as Danielle claimed the baby singer. Can we just say their names? The woman who's alleging, making the claim, said this thing about Justin. Assaulted her on March 9th, 2014 after a surprise performance at a bar in Austin, Texas during the South by Southwest Festival. Danielle, whose account has since been deleted, claimed that Bieber invited her and her friends back to his Four Seasons hotel. On Sunday, Bieber pulled out the receipts literally to refute Danielle's allegation after conversations with wife Hailey Baldwin, and he's married to Hailey Baldwin. I assume she's related to the Baldwins. You know, the Baldwins. I'm going to have to look into that. There's more to that story. Wife Hailey Baldwin and his team. Quote, rumors are rumors. Rumors are rumors, but sexual abuse is something I don't take lightly, Bieber tweeted. Bieber. I wanted to speak out right away, but out of respect to so many victims who deal with these issues daily, I wanted to make sure I gathered the facts before I made any statement. The 26-year-old singer tweeted a series of old articles and receipts and showed he was in Austin with then girlfriend Selena Gomez and had stayed with her at an Airbnb on March 9th and at a Westin hotel on March 20th. Or March 10th. Bieber also said he'd spoken with the Four Seasons regional manager who confirmed that he was not there on the date in question. Quote, every claim of sexual abuse should be taken very seriously, and this is why my response was needed, he tweeted. However, this story is factually impossible, and that is why I will be working with Twitter and authorities to take legal action. Good. Good. Yeah. I don't know if this is a bias, like they're in favor of Bieber, so they're not really. Was that really all that happened? She made a claim on Twitter, and then he said, "Nope, that's impossible," and then she deleted her Twitter. Like, is that really what went down here? Because if that is news, then that's kind of ridiculous. That's the problem with the culture, the cancel culture, and the rage culture. The hashtag Me Too idea, yes, that's important. Every woman should be listened to, and you should go through the legal proceedings and process to find out if a guy has actually done something. Sorry. But the problem is we jump straight to guilty if it is a celebrity who is being accused, a celebrity male who is being accused of something wrong. So if that's all it is, there's nothing here, because I didn't hear a single bit of evidence about anything or a single bit of story. But what do I know? That's that. Justin Bieber. Moving on. We also had, what's his name? Chris D'Elia, comedian Chris D'Elia, got some accusations, and I believe his were for underage people as well. Get out of here with your privacy warnings. No, that's Justin Bieber still. Hold on. Okay. Also from Daily News, from NewYorkDailyNews.com. And when I look into these things, I have zero bias. I do not care who it's from. I try to find a legit sounding name, but I look up a headline, I click, and I have not read any of them if that's not obvious. So we're finding this out together. It's basically like we're reading the news together and making fun of it. So from NewYorkDailyNews.com, powerful Hollywood agencies drop Chris D'Elia from roster following sexual assault allegations on social media. Chris D'Elia is getting the heave-ho from powerful Hollywood agencies he's been a part of for years. Creative Artists Agency announced Tuesday it dumped the blah, blah, blah. Can we get to what he actually supposedly did? Swift action since the comedic actor was accused on social media of assaulting several women, several of whom were allegedly underage at the time last week. So they were underage last week? No. Maybe, I don't know. D'Elia is also accused of not only sending underage victims unsolicited messages, but also pressuring them into take nude pictures of themselves. According to the Hollywood Reporter, CAA's decision to part ways with D'Elia comes after his Whitney Cummings co-star, Whitney Cummings, publicly condemned his actions over the weekend. The problem is you're condemning actions that haven't been proven. Well, I guess they have been, because his had the emails, his had stuff. So you can certainly condemn those emails as long as those emails are true and provenly true. By all means, condemn that. But yeah, when stuff happens like, just allegations, and people say, I condemn the person who's had allegations made against them, then that is spineless, and that is just caving into a mob mentality, because you don't know if they did anything at all until you do. Condemnation is just gross, ruining people's lives for no reason. Whitney Cummings took to Twitter on Saturday to write unemotionally charged statement abandoning her close friend amid the allegations. Quote, "It's taken me a couple days to process the information I have learned about Chris. I'm devastated and enraged by what I've read and learned." Quote continued. New paragraph. New sentence. This is a pattern of predatory behavior, the comedian continued. This abuse of power is enabled by silence. Now that I am aware, I won't be silent. Girls should be able to be a fan of a comedian they admire without becoming a sexual target. It's the adult's responsibility to be an adult. She's right. She is right. Yeah, of course, if he's doing some skeezy stuff with children who are underage. And of course, that's the sticky line with libertarianism is, does the government get to decide what age is, appropriate, or should it be another solution? I have no freaking clue. And I would love to hear somebody argue on the libertarian side of that, because I don't know. That's where I don't know where I stand as on the topic of like anarchy. When is it predatory, and where is the age of consent? Where is there one? How does that work? Obviously, everyone is against, child stuff. I mean, obviously not everyone. Crystalia. I mean, I haven't seen the emails, but if there are emails, I'm curious to know. I heard somebody else was talking on it, and it sounded like he was maybe grooming underage children. Maybe he was, definitely into younger girls, which is, if it's legal, it's legal, but it's a little weird and a little gross, especially when you're a guy who acts the way Crystalia does. And I liked the guy. I still, so far, like the guy because I thought he was funny, but he's like a brash, over-the-top type and very dark and dry. When you're a guy like that, it almost seems like a stereotype. Like somebody would be like, yeah, Crystalia, he's into younger girls. It's like, well, obviously. But from what I've heard, he did not commit sexual acts with underage girls, but he likes them young, obviously. But I don't grooming. That's the question though. Grooming. At what point does talking and flirting with somebody who's underage become a crime? At what point does that become a psychological warfare thing? That's the problem with anarchy, in my opinion, is where that's one big problem, is that psychological stuff is really hard to quantify. It's really hard. I don't know. But Dalia, reading on. Dalia also appeared. Don't text me, bro. Dalia also appeared in the second season of Netflix drama series You, in which he played a comedian who molests underage women. I mean, I'm not trying to defend the guy because I don't know him and I don't care. If he did it, absolutely burn him at the stake. If he was actually, engaging in sexual activity with underage girls, then absolutely take him down hard. But man, the conspiracy side of me says, they put people like this into roles that fit them, like Kevin Spacey. Like they put him into a role where he molests underage women. Gross. He played a comedian. I didn't even catch that. He played a comedian who molests underage women. Sorry, if my volume level gets higher and lower, it's because some things don't need to be shouted while I have children in the next room over. Deal with it. His co-star, Penn Badgley, told the Los Angeles Times that he felt, quote, very troubled by the allegations, and explained that Dalia's alleged actions speak to a larger systemic issue, which has also led him to question whether the show is causing more harm than good for its viewers in the series. So I don't know. This is giving me little evidence. It doesn't even show the emails or anything like that or what have you. I don't know. I can't really speak too much on this one because, again, if he was like messaging with underage girls and nothing happened, nothing sexual, like that includes obviously sending or trying to obtain pictures from two underage girls. If that's the case, that's currently illegal in our system, so he's a criminal. He should be charged with that accordingly. Just like Carlos Spicy Wiener, Anthony Wiener. Carlos Danger. Was Family Guy trying to tell us something when Peter says Carlos Spicy Wiener? Because anyway. Yes, Crystalia's team, this is from 2fab.com, so you know it's legit. Crystalia's team releases emails between him and accusers. Okay, so we might get something a little bit more here. LA Times reporter slams move. Okie dokie. One of the emails prompted a Los Angeles Times journalist who interviewed 5 of the women to respond on Twitter. After Crystalia's agent and manager dropped him following sexual misconduct allegations, a team of reps have taken a new approach to defending the comedian. Last week, multiple women came forward on social media. Yeah, we talked about this. On Thursday, D'Elia's team released what they claimed were emails between him and some of the accusers in an attempt to help clear his name, per page 6. This is a tweet. Amy Kaufman, Amy Kin, LA, says she never met him, but at page 6, D'Elia said she wrote to him years later, "I'm 21 now and down to F." Rossi did write in this email telling me she was telling a friend the story, and I thought it'd be funny and a way to prove that I actually had his contact. In my story, Rossi talked about how when she was 16, D'Elia emailed her asking to meet him and make out. He requested she send him pictures of herself, and she sent an image in which she was smiling in a pool and another of a fluffy panda. Ha ha ha. The F panda. Dick, he replied. Okay. So, was she... Okay, so it's a weird one. It seems like it's getting weird. Like if he's into it and she's into it, then obviously it's illegal. So by our current standings, sure, it's criminal. But yeah, it sounds like, maybe I'm wrong, but the way I read that is they're saying that the girl who it got out about that this happened to or with, she wasn't even trying to expose the dude. She was just making a joke about it to brag. Anyway, so we just read all that. Note that in the story, D'Elia does not refute any of the exchanges Rossi said she had with him when she was 16. He also does not refute the accounts of the other 4 women in my story, which can be found here. Okay, reading on. This last released email prompted the LA Times journalist who interviewed 5 of the women in a story posted on Saturday to respond on Twitter. Amy Kaufman said Rossi admits to the email, but Rossi told Kaufman she was telling a friend the story, thought it'd be funny, and prove he had his contact. We read all that. I've always maintained the fact that I didn't realize what he did to me back then was predatory, and I didn't come to the realization until recently, Rossi continued. Per Kaufman, perfect example of when I said I thought it was a fun story to tell at parties. Kaufman goes on to say that D'Elia didn't refute any of the other allegations from her story, which was described as an avalanche of screenshots between the actor and the accuser. Wait, what? Kaufman goes on to say that D'Elia didn't refute to any of the other stuff, which was described as, okay, whatever. D'Elia did deny the accusations when he spoke with TMZ last week. Quote, "All of my relationships have been both legal and consensual, and I have never met or exchanged any inappropriate photos with the people who have tweeted about me." Continuing on. That being said, I really am truly I really am truly sorry. I was a dumb guy who absolutely let myself get caught up in my lifestyle. That's my fault. I own it. Okay, but what are you apologizing for? Are you apologizing for, did you do something illegal? You said that you didn't do something illegal. Did you do something illegal? On Monday, I mean, maybe he's apologizing, saying I didn't do something illegal, but even talking to a 16-year-old in these manners is creepy. On Monday, Delia's You co-star Penn Badgley spoke out. It did affect me deeply. We read all that. He's troubled. Whitney Cummings came out and said it. Now that I'm aware, Cummings continued. Wait, we read all this. Meanwhile, it has been reported that Comedy Central removed the stand-up special by Delia and his episodes of Workaholics, in which he played a child molester. Okay. Have been taken down by Comedy Central, Amazon, and Hulu. So you see what I mean when I said he seems like he could be the type? Why does he keep getting cast in these roles? Is it because he seems like the type, or does he seem like the type? Like, does he seem like the type because he plays these roles, or does he play the roles because he seems like the type? And does he seem like the type because he is the type? I don't know. But we know something weird's going on there, obviously. And I don't approve. I do not approve. Whatever. Well, where are we at? Where are we at on time? About an hour, something like that. I got to talk about one more thing real quick. We got to move on from the Me Too stuff. We got to talk a little bit about the cancel stuff and the ponies and all the new trends that have surfaced over the last couple of years of being mad about everyone and everything for any reason that we can think of. And if we don't have a reason, then we have to make one up in order to make sure that nothing is fun or good or funny anymore. And it's only a matter of time before it happens to me. I've made some jokes in the past. I sure have. I might even have made jokes that I wouldn't make today. Maybe jokes that are so offensive that I wouldn't stand by them today. I may have done that, but I'm not going to apologize for it. If somebody calls me out for being like a racist or anti-Semitic or sexist, misogynistic or homophobic or anything else because of a joke I made, I'm never going to apologize for that joke. I might say, hey, I didn't mean to, offend you or hurt you. I certainly didn't. I've never made a joke on this show with the intent to hurt another person. But I'm not going to apologize for it, because apologizing for it is saying that I am those things. I'm not going to say it here because somebody could clip that out. I'm not those things, and I never was those things. So if you took my joke wrong, if you took it as racist, sexist, misogynistic, homophobic, transphobic, any of those things, you're wrong. You're wrong because they're jokes. Okay. Now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about where we're at right now. Sorry, that's just an aside that's been on my mind. People apologizing for things to the point where it emboldens the person whose only intent is to bring them down. People apologizing for things that are taken out of context. If it's taken out of context, then if you're angry about something that is not based on the context that it was in, not on the way it was meant, then you can't say that it's racist. You can't say those things. You can't say that it is those things because I'm talking in circles here. You don't get to tell me what I am. You might come to a conclusion about me that you think I am a thing, but that doesn't make you correct. And so I'm not going to hold your hand and apologize because you're too dumb to understand how jokes work. And that came to a dark screeching halt. I just wanted to put that out there for anyone. As we watch all these people get canceled, as we watch all this outrage go on about silliness, here we go. There's the Adam Carolla one. Adam Carolla, or not the Adam Carolla one, the Jimmy Kimmel one. Jimmy Kimmel. Okay, so the headline, USA Today, Adam Carolla backs Jimmy Kimmel, but says Karl Malone Oprah impressions are, quote, not blackface. Yes. We've talked about this before. We've talked about it quite a bit before, back in the Megyn Kelly days. Blackface is wrong. If you're putting on black makeup and making a you're making a joke of black culture, if you're stereotyping black culture and making it into a thing, a caricature, the origin of blackface, that's wrong. Somebody being an artificial shade of skin tone that is not their natural tone does not inherently make them a racist. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. It might be in poor taste, but that doesn't mean that they're a racist. So, after Jimmy Kimmel apologized Tuesday for appearing in blackface to impersonate NBA star Karl Malone and other black celebrities years ago, his friend Adam Carolla offered his support. On his daily podcast, The Adam Carolla Show, the host ranked Kimmel, quote, in my top 3 of all time decent people I've ever met in my life. He is the most decent person, blah, 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 blah. But he says it wasn't blackface. And we obviously know where this is going. We don't really need to read it, but let me see if we can get to the actual quote about it. I've long been reluctant to address this, as I knew doing so would be celebrated as a victory by those who equate apologies with weakness. This is Kimmel. Okay, let's get into this. This is Kimmel's apology, which I thought was pretty decent. He's been reluctant to. He knew people would celebrate it. It'd be celebrated as a victory by those who equate apologies with weakness and cheer for leaders who use prejudice to divide us. So, just going to attack Trump for funsies. That delay was a mistake. Kimmel wrote in a statement released Tuesday. You never considered that this might be seen as anything other than an imitation of a fellow human being, one that had no more to do with Karl's skin color than it did his bulging muscles and bald head. Whereas Kimmel was contrite about the blackface appearances, Carolla choosing a different tact. He says the Man Show, blah, 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 cancel Kimmel. He took issue with the criticism. First, he believes comedians by their nature challenge social conventions. Amen, brother. Preach. Could we remove the jeweler's lapel? What? And the spotlight from comedians, politicians? Okay. I don't even know what we're talking about anymore. All right. Carolla is basically saying the same thing as I did. It wasn't a racist caricature. It was Karl Malone. It was him doing a bad impersonation of Karl Malone. It's about a guy. And that guy happens to be black. And Jimmy Kimmel cannot do a parody of Karl Malone unless he's black. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't look like him. He's trying to look like Karl Malone. That's it. And now he's apologizing for it. I don't think he should have to apologize for it because Jimmy Kimmel was not the creator of all that. And this goes to the Jimmy Fallon one too. Jimmy Fallon is getting dogged for doing quote unquote blackface, making fun of Chris Rock. He wasn't doing blackface. He was dressed up as Chris Rock, making fun of Chris Rock. And everybody's offended by it. Everybody's outraged about it. We're canceling Jimmy Fallon because of that. Now, do we cancel the writers? Do we cancel the makeup artists? Do we cancel Lorne Michaels? Do we cancel NBC? Do we cancel if anybody who contributed to this heinous act of hate? Of course not. Of course not. But why? Because they obviously were a part of it too. Jimmy Fallon probably had nothing to do with the decision making. He probably had the least amount of decision making, but he's getting dragged over the coals because he did his job. And his job required him to make fun of a man who happened to be black. And in order to do that, he was. And you know who cares about this? Who cares about this the least? It's Chris Rock. Chris Rock does not give two shits about this because Chris Rock is a comedian. Chris Rock is a big boy. He can handle jokes. If he was going to be offended by something, it probably wouldn't be the fact that Jimmy Fallon had black makeup on. If he was going to be offended by something, it would probably more likely be the fact that they were making fun of Chris Rock. But Chris Rock doesn't even care. It's everybody else that cares for Chris Rock. If the man that you're making fun of isn't offended, if the man that is being made fun of isn't offended, then why are you? I don't get it. I think it's dumb, but I'm gonna move on. So Kimmel also did like an Oprah black makeup face, and he also said the N-word on some rap sketch or something. That doesn't make him racist. Of course it doesn't. Of course it doesn't. In the rap song, he was imitating Snoop Dogg. And so one word that you want to use if you're going to impersonate Snoop Dogg might be the N-word if you are so bold. But that does not obviously make him a racist. He was speaking like another person. That other person uses that word a lot. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been there. Whatever. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. Not going there. But more on cancel culture. The guy who plays Cleveland Brown just stepped down because, you know, he's white. These things I could rant about for a while and how insane they are, but what good does it do? The guy who plays Cleveland Brown steps down because he's not black. There was also, we've talked about what's his face from The Simpsons. There was Hank Azaria stepped down from Apu, which, as you know, I think is completely stupid. Because, well, you can go watch the video. You can look it up on The System Is Down. You can look up something about Apu and find the AntiNews episode I did on that. But there's a lot to that one. First and foremost, it being that Apu is an awesome character. He's the most moral character on the entire show. He's a good guy. It's not a caricature of I mean, it uses stereotypes, but it's not a caricature, a rude stereotype. It's not a rude caricature of Indian folks. Anyway, so we've got Mike Henry, guy from Cleveland. We also have the actress from Big Mouth stepped down. Okay, The Simpsons, Family Guy, and more white actors stepped down from non-white cartoon roles. This is from usatoday.com, so you know it's legit. Following nationwide protests against racism, the people behind the animated shows The Simpsons, Family Guy, Big Mouth, and Central Park, whatever that is, are rethinking. Notice how that's the only one that didn't make the headline because nobody knows what that is. I guess Big Mouth didn't either, did it? Okay. I knew about the Big Mouth one, but I've never heard of Central Park. They're rethinking which actors should be able to play non-white, be able to voice non-white roles. In a statement to USA Today, a representative for Fox confirmed that moving forward, The Simpsons will no longer have white actors voicing non-white characters, though the rep did not name which specific characters the actor will be and actors will be affected by the decision. The announcement comes months after Hank Azaria stepped down as Apu, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we know. I'm not reading all that. I'm not recapping, and I'm not reading their recap of that. Go listen to my recap. On Friday, voice actor Mike Henry announced on Twitter he will step down as Cleveland Brown, a role he has voiced on Family Guy since 1999. Whew. Including The Cleveland Show, which was all about it. Henry also voiced the role on Family Guy spinoff show. Yep. See, I'm just one step ahead of him. One step ahead. It's been an honor to play Cleveland on Family Guy for 20 years. He wrote, I love this character, but persons of color should play characters of color. Therefore, I will be stepping down from the role. But why exactly? Why should it be persons of color? We need more diversity in Hollywood. We need more black people voicing roles. It should just be whoever does the job better. And if a white guy happens to voice the role for the one fictional character, Cleveland Brown, better, I mean, we had the whole, only gay people should be gay actors. Only gay people should do gay roles in movies and stuff, trans and stuff like that, and people of ethnicities and all that stuff. It's acting. I want there to be diversity. I don't want people to be discluded. However, you can't have the same, if there's a movie that calls for 16 people, 3 of them are minorities, 2 of them are black, you can't say that you need the cast to be equally diverse if there's not those I don't know. So especially in voice acting, man, we're getting to a point where you're gonna have to have you're gonna have to hire only Nazis to play Nazi parts. Is that it? Are you gonna have to only hire like in a cartoon, and you only hire cops to play Chief Wiggum? Is that it? You only hire politicians to play politicians, to voice politicians? I mean, the slippery slope term, as you know, I hate using, but is that, where do we get off here? Where does this end? If a white guy can't voice a black cartoon character, can a white guy write lines for a black cartoon character? Or is that taking the writing job away from somebody whose voice is not being heard, that is a person of color in that exact area? Can the person hiring, do they have to be, if there's a person who's hiring somebody to write a part for a black actor to say out loud, does the person who did the initial hiring of all these people at the top of the line, do they have to be black too? Because their decision can greatly impact who gets the next spot, and if they are, it's insane. Do we have to have an elderly pedophile voice Herbert? Because this guy stepped down from his role as Cleveland Brown. He is also the voice of Herbert the pedophile. He stepped down from Cleveland Brown's role because he's not a black dude. So why is he still voicing an old pedophile? You must ask. One must ask. And yeah, with like Bart Simpson. Can Bart Simpson, is it okay for him to be voiced by a woman? Do we have to have a new actor for every single cartoon character? It has to be a new actor, and the character has to be exactly that person? These are actors. They're acting things. Like, it also reminds me of I don't remember who it was, maybe Leonardo DiCaprio or Brad Pitt, or one of the last few movie stars, said something, asked on social media if people thought that he should play Nazi. People said no, obviously you shouldn't be playing a Nazi. Who should? Because the part calls for one. Are we just gonna hire more of those? You gonna hire more Nazis? Is that what we're gonna get to here? I don't know, man. And how long is South Park gonna be a thing? I am looking forward to the new season that will eventually come out. I am very much looking forward to it, to see where they go, because things have gotten even crazier. They've gotten even crazier, and that whole show is basically voiced by 2 dudes and 1 woman. Like, yeah. So I'm curious, where does this all end? How far do we go? How much outrage can we possibly stomach? I do not know. But I did also want to mention, and feel free to fact check me on this, I could be wrong. I'm not real news. I'm making this up. I am going off of hearsay, but I did see an article about a woman stepping down from the show Big Mouth, which I think is a disgusting show to begin with, and not because I'm a not because I'm prude, but because it's sexualizing children. That's my issue with that show, and I think that it's a weird line there. It's a weird line. Anyway, that's a conversation for another day. But yeah, the show Big Mouth, a woman stepped down who was playing a mixed race girl. She was white. She was playing a mixed race girl. The mother and father were white and black. So she stepped aside. She was halfway there, man. So is the person who's being hired, are they able to be black? Or do they have to be mixed in order for them to play a mixed person? Is it okay for a black person to play a mixed person? Is it okay for a white person to play a mixed person? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on all of these things, man. These are crazy times, and the lines of acceptability, the lines of what's okay to do and say, and what jobs you take, what jobs you get fired from for saying what things, and it's like the rule book of humanity. If we were actually to go by all these people's standards, it's like the rule book adds like 1,000 pages a day on the things that you are and are not allowed to do. And if you are not reading as quickly as you possibly can with what society says are the rules, then you will fall. I'm ADD and cannot read because it takes me forever to get through a page. You cannot expect me to keep up with your reading this rule book that is massively expanding by the second. The goalposts will move. If you try and meet the demands, then you will just end up shooting yourself in the foot. Try to be a decent person. Try to be a nice person. Try to listen to people, understand where they come from, why they believe the way they do, why you disagree on things. Know what you believe and why you believe it, but be humble and willing to change your mind if you are presented with new information that proves you wrong. Be smart enough to do that. Have the conversations. But man, when society doesn't know what it wants, then we're all doomed, because I feel like we just are gluttons for punishment. Be nice to people, have the conversation, but stop and trying to end the lives of people that you disagree with, because the person you're talking to on Facebook is not inherently your enemy. They are not the people who want you to die. There are probably people in the world that want you to be a number, that want you to be insignificant, that want you to be a statistic. They're out there. People that don't care about you outside of, where you fall into a tax bracket and a description and what they can get out of you. Outside of that, they don't care about you. They don't care if you live or die. The person on the other end of the Facebook conversation or the conversation in real life is not your enemy. We need to actually we need to laser focus in on the actual target. The system is down. The system is broken. There are a lot of broken things in said system that need to be fixed, that need to be taken away, that need to be torn down. But we have to figure out the way to get there. And I don't think Chaz or, making people saying that people are racist if they voice a character that they aren't or play a role that they're not. I don't buy it. I don't buy that this is for the betterment of humanity. I just don't. Maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, let me know. Please drop me a line at dan@tsidpod.com or go join the System is Down forum at Facebook. Just type in System is Down forum or by going to tsidpod.com/forum. Do that, and then you can come yell at me or leave a comment in the comments section down below. And I would be happy to, talk, chat, or ignore you if you are belligerent. But thank you guys so much for listening. I might have to do the after party later on this week because it's 6 o'clock now and I gotta go be with my family. But I wanted to give you guys something. It is Monday, and as I say, I will give you new uncomfortable content every single Monday. So here it is. I hope it was everything you dreamed of and everything that you will dream about tonight in your sweet dreams. But Yes, if you are not a member of the Downers Club, please do join and help get this show bigger, better, more beautiful every single week by going to patreon.com/The System Is Down and signing up for as little as whatever you want to support at, and get bonus content, including the after party that's coming to you shortly. But if you will have me, I will, of course, be back here first thing next Monday morning with some uncomfortable content for you then. Until then, please continue to question everything, stay uncomfortable, and yeah, I'll see you around. Goodbye.